Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about something which inspires me every day, and that is nature. I was a student of environmental sciences for 3 years at the St. Joseph's College way back in 1995, and I graduated in 1998. So during these 3 years, I had the privilege of observing natural ecosystems and learning from it. So, some of the insights that I gained during my treks to the Western Ghats and to the natural ecosystems in and around southern India, I would like to share with you today. And the take or the perspective I have is that nature and ecology has a lot to offer in the world of designing smart solutions to solve complex human problems as well as problems that we have in society. How do we optimize? Because nature optimizes continuously, very effectively all the time. And that is how the universe is able to sustain itself despite and in spite of the chaos. In fact, it feeds on the chaos that it creates for itself. And in that process, there's a lot of invention, innovation, and value creation. So let's focus on the topic. And the topic is swarm intelligence for smart mobility. Ecosystem approach to solve complexity. So, if we observe ants, bees, birds, butterflies, and fish, all of them communicate effectively, collectively, intuitively in order to move from point A to point B. And they do this every single day of their lives. They move in isolation, they also move together. When they move together, they apply the natural, innate resources that they have within themselves. These are the innate sensory mechanisms, and these sensory mechanisms give out what are called as pheromones or natural hormones to communicate with each other. And there are other manifestations in nature which allow these natural organisms to communicate with each other. So that collectively together is what we term as swarm intelligence. The intelligence that comes about when ants and bees and birds and fish together move as one collective unit for sustaining themselves and making sure they can survive in any external environment. So this swarm intelligence has a lot to teach. There are a lot of insights that we can draw by studying swarm intelligence deeply. So now, this is what is the overview at a very high level of ecology and what ecology can offer for us to solve technology problems. Now, with regards smart mobility, one of the key important inventions for us, for human beings, which allows us to augment our own innate intuitive abilities, is that of a machine which is powerful in your hand, and that is called as a smartphone. And the smartphone is smart because it has over the years evolved into a highly sensory technology solution provider. Let us take a deeper look at all the sensors available in a smartphone. GPS, global positioning system, a gyro and an accelerometer, which allow you to use the smartphone intuitively for landscape and portrait viewing, and it switches automatically. Gyro and accelerometer, proximity sensor, Bluetooth communication systems, near field communication systems, a built-in digital camera which is bidirectional, front as well as back, and becoming increasingly intelligent as the day goes by. Light sensors of various kinds, ambient light sensor, backlight sensor, so on and so forth. Fingerprint sensor, which allows you fingerprint access. Touch sensor, which enables the touch screen. A heart rate monitor. A compass, a built-in compass to give you directions. Infrared sensor and infrared remote. You can also use your smartphone as an infrared remote. Temperature sensor, a iris scanner, a air humidity sensor, oxygen saturation sensor. A Geiger counter is available in very advanced military grade smartphones. Laser and gesture control. So as you can see, 20 odd classes of sensors and more. It's only growing. Therefore, the smartphone can become an extension of human intelligence, and we can use the combination of human intelligence and smartphone intelligence to achieve complexity reduction and optimization based on the principles of swarm intelligence for smart mobility use cases. Is this really possible? Of course it is. And in fact, it is already being applied by several companies around the world on several platforms. Let's try to understand a simple case of smart mobility use case. So, let us look at redefining, for the sake of clarity, what is smart mobility. So, smart mobility we can define as movement from point A to B in the most optimized manner in terms of time, money and carbon footprint. So, if I want to move from point A to B, let's say I start my journey at 9 o'clock and I want to arrive by 9:45, then I use multimodal transportation or multimodal mobility services in order to arrive at my destination. So, the smartphone can suggest that I need to walk a few meters, then hire a bicycle or bike and catch a metro, and then ride the metro, get off the metro and then take a taxi to reach point B. So, this comprises my multimodal transportation which which is lasting for 45 minutes from 9 to 9:45. While doing this, I have a smartphone represented by small a here, and someone else is having a smartphone which is represented by B here. So, journey begins for me from A to B, but someone else is planning a journey from B, let's say from point B to A, let's say at 9:50, and at 9:50 they would like to move from point B to arrive at point A at 10:30. So, there are smartphones here represented by A, B, C and D, random people with their own smartphones. So, if the smartphones are communicating with each other on the platform, then we arrive at an optimization to make sure that these people are able to move to their destinations using smart mobility platforms and arriving at whatever is the most optimized for carbon footprint, time and money, all put together. Optimization works effectively. This is a simple scenario. Now, in the real world, things are not that simple. Therefore, what could be a possible scenario that we need to solve? So, here is a particular example to understand one type of complexity and its dimensions. So, I want to move from point A to B to C to D during the morning hours, during the course of the day. And when I finish my work, I would like to move from D directly back to A. And each of those journeys take a time unit, which I've represented by T. And there are people carrying their smartphones, which I've represented by the small letters or lowercase letters A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. So, and you can see that people are moving in a dynamic fashion from various points A to B, B to A, B to C, C to B, C to D, D to C, so on and so forth. It's random, just like we all do when we order our taxis on Uber or Ola. So the difference here is we are optimizing for multimodal transportation system, just as we described here from point to A movement, walking, biking, metro rides, taxi, and anything else that is available within any urban environment anywhere in the world. So we need to solve for those complex scenarios. And there is a smart way to solve for these complex scenarios if we use algorithms which are built out of swarm intelligence. This, I think, is going to become increasingly interesting for researchers. And of course, researchers are already doing research on how to access the principles of nature and how nature solves the mobility problem to address smart mobility solutions needs of not only today, but of the near future and beyond. So this is what I had for you today. A simplistic view of how we can use swarm intelligence to approach smart mobility solutions problems. Of course, this is just the tip of the iceberg, but the intention is to create a discussion which is clear, and the objectives of this particular presentation was to invoke your interest and get you thinking about nature and nature-based solutions to solve technology problems. Thank you.